The WNBA is set to lose $40 million this season.
Remember when the WNBA was thriving on Caitlin Clark's star power-packed arenas, soaring ratings, and merch flying off the shelves? It seemed like the league had struck gold, but now we're looking at a $40 million loss. How did things collapse? So quickly get ready for the roller coaster that took the WNBA from success to financial freefall in no time.
Next season is canceled. It will be the end of the WNBA in the mainstream. People will not give this league another chance.
$40 million loss is bad, but what if that's just the tip of the iceberg? Turns out there's a group of heavy hitters who've been silently fuming for years now. They're ready to speak up.
NBA investors are actually starting to get irritated. It's about time.
$40 million loss is bad, but what if that's just the tip of the iceberg? Turns out there's a group of heavy hitters who've been silently fuming for years now. They're ready to speak up.
The owners, if the NBA wanted to close this, nobody would blame them. Nobody would blame them if they wanted to shut this league down. I mean, what other league operates for 27 years in a loss? What other business does? It doesn't. It gets closed down. It gets shut down.
And their patience, it's wearing dangerously thin. Things are getting serious when the NBA owners start asking questions.
And of all owners to actually be sort of a hero on this, it is James Dolan. One of them, of course, from the Knicks, that is asking a lot of questions right now. And evidently a lot of other owners are sort of happy that he's taking this bullet.
These aren't just any questions, they're the kind that make league commissioners sweat. For 27 years, these guys have been bankrolling the WNBA, watching loss after loss pile up. But now they've had enough. In fact, the NBA is reportedly considering the possibility of shutting down the league. It's not just about the money anymore. These owners want transparency, and they want it now. They're tired of writing checks without seeing results. Can you blame them? Imagine pouring millions into a business for almost 3 decades, only to see it keep bleeding cash.
The NBA owns nearly 60% of the league. Now listen to this. When one combines the NBA owners' personal stakes in WNBA teams and the WNBA itself, the amount rises to 75% of the league ownership is tied to the WNBA, to the NBA for the league.
And who's leading this charge? None other than James Dolan, the New York Knicks owner. Yeah, that James Dolan, the same guy who's usually on the receiving end of fan criticism, is now demanding answers from NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. Talk about a plot twist. But here's where it gets really wild. Other owners are calling Dolan their hero for speaking up. When was the last time anyone called James Dolan a hero? I'll wait. It's like we've entered some parallel universe where Dolan's the good guy, but hey, stranger things have happened in the world of sports, right?
The NBA team owners have invested hundreds of millions into the WNBA since 1996, per sources. Quote, the WNBA owes the NBA so much we won't see any windfall for years, a team executive told the Post. So it's going to be years, even with this broadcast, this new media rights deal, before anybody sees any money.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how much stake does the NBA really have in all this? Well, hold on to your seats, because this is the kicker. The NBA owns 75% of the WNBA. That's not a typo. 75%. So when the WNBA loses, the NBA loses big time. We're talking millions of dollars flowing out of NBA coffers every single year.
Before anybody sees any money. Starting in the 2026 season, the WNBA will get up to a $2.2 billion over 11 years media right contract.
So why are these NBA owners suddenly so upset about the WNBA's finances? It's simple. They're seeing their investment go up in smoke. One anonymous team executive put it bluntly: the WNBA owes the NBA so much. That's not just frustration talking, that's cold, hard reality. Now you might be wondering, can't they just shut it down, cut their losses, and move on? Well, it's not that simple. The WNBA isn't just a business, it's a symbol of progress in sports. Shutting it down would be a PR nightmare. Plus, there's still hope that with the right moves it could turn things around. All right, so the WNBA is still standing, but for how long? They're about to enter a whole new ball game, and the rules, they're changing faster than you can say. Buzzer beater, you ready for this? Because the league's future is hanging by a thread, and you won't believe what's about to unravel.
That means likely at least $100 million annual increase from what the WNBA currently makes from national media contracts, which is about $60 million. The WNBA is also set to expand its regular season and playoff schedule to generate more revenue.
Future of the WNBA is knocking at the door carrying a $2 billion check. That's the potential value of the league's next media rights deal, more than 36 times their current deal. This isn't just a slight bump, it's a complete game changer for the league.
But the players are expected to opt out of the CBA by November 1 deadline, and if they do, that means the salaries are likely to rise, which would eat into the potential $60 million for the 2026 profit by the league. The $100 million in television revenue, turning the projected $40 million loss into a $60 million gain. Quote, we have not even getting any money from the WNBA expansion fees.
But here's where it gets really interesting. This massive deal is riding on Caitlin Clark, and the buzz she's creating. The networks are seeing the ratings spike when she plays, and they're ready to open their wallets. We're talking about going from $60 million a year in media rights to at least $100 million after 27 years of running in the red. The WNBA could finally turn a profit, but there's more trouble brewing if the WNBA players opt out of their current collective bargaining agreement by November 1st. It could send shockwaves through the league's finances. Why? Because the players will push for higher salaries, potentially turning the current losses into an even bigger financial nightmare
for this league. Again, what do you do? I mean, this league is going to make some money now, all right? But again, what happens if you push all these new fans back out? What does that do for your media rights deals? Because they only got the new media rights deals because of one player. I mean, singular, let's be honest. It's Caitlin Clark.
Now, the WNBA is in a tough spot. Players are pushing for more money and resisting change. Investors are tired of throwing money into what looks like a lost cause. And right in the middle, Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation, who could save it all if the league lets her.
She boosted all the ratings. She got the popularity. And now all your players across the league are attacking her fans, the Iowa fans, the Indiana Fever fans. Look at those Connecticut Sun players talking about Indiana Fever fans are racist. Angel Reese talking about Indiana Fever fans are racist. Caitlin Clark fans are racist. People are going to get tired of that, and they're going to be like, the hell with it. Let's let this league burn itself to the ground where it should have been a long time ago.
But wait, remember all those new fans Caitlin Clark brought in, the ones who were suddenly interested in women's basketball? Well, some WNBA players haven't exactly rolled out the welcome mat. In fact, they've been pushing these new fans away. Can you believe it? It's like they're actively trying to shrink their fan base. Some WNBA players and officials have publicly criticized Clark and her fans. They're suggesting that this influx of new supporters is disrupting the existing culture within the league.
Single year. And it looks like the league might eventually become profitable. That is, if the WNBA players, the hatefulness, the jealousy, the pettiness, doesn't run off fans, okay? Because we know the way they treated Caitlin Clark, and we know the way a lot of these players have talked so badly about the new fans that have come in. Well, the new fans are what's going to make you money. So if you continue to talk badly about them, they're going to get fed up and they're going to not watch this league. They're going to leave the league, and you're back to where you were. And it sounds like owners, you better not go back to where you were.
But it gets even more intense. Accusations are flying around that are hard to ignore. Some players like Angel Reese have gone as far as labeling Caitlin Clark's fans as racist. Can you believe that the very thing that could save the WNBA from financial ruin is being seen as a threat by some insiders?
And you've got the factor of Caitlin Clark's getting the ever-loving hell beat out of her out there. So what happens if she gets hurt, severely hurt, knocked out of the league? Again, we were one eye poke away from a career being potentially a wrap right after it started.
The WNBA is out of crossroads, and the clock's ticking. They've got a superstar in Caitlin Clark, who's drawing in fans by the thousands with her incredible talent and charisma. Clark is the kind of player who could elevate the league to new heights, attracting more attention, money, and viewership. This is a golden opportunity for the WNBA to embrace her star power and grow the fan base.
frankly, Caitlin Clark fans are getting pissed over it. They're getting tired of it. You know? And again, all these new fans, a lot of them, like us, in this house that are actual families, a nuclear family, a traditional family unit, we don't want to see her get the crap beat out of her on the court. That's not a good look for our kids to be watching. We don't want to see that.
However, instead of fully supporting Clark, some within the league seem to be pushing back. In fact, there's been a noticeable pattern of bullying toward her, which is causing fans to pull away.
The WNBA has seen record-breaking numbers this season in viewership, ticket sales, merch sales, and just overall growth of the league.
The WNBA was once just a blip on the sports radar, but those days are long gone thanks to one player, Caitlin Clark. She didn't just arrive, she exploded onto the scene like a basketball supernova.
Another chart that says the yearly league attendance by team. So if we look at this chart for the 2024 season, the Indiana Fever are pretty much blowing out every other team. They are averaging almost 16,000 per 39 games. So this is taking into consideration not only the Indiana Fever home games, but also when they are on the road. Their lowest attendance was around 6,000 people. And if you look at the rest of the league, everybody else is around 3,000 for their lowest. Their highest attendance is 2,366.
Suddenly, everyone was talking about women's basketball, and the WNBA finally found itself in the spotlight it had been craving for years.
These numbers are crazy. Do you know what kind of money these numbers are going to turn into? Like, this is how you grow the league. This attendance is crazy.
Let's talk about what Clark did to turn things around. We're not just talking about a little bump in interest here. We're talking about a full-on revolution. Arenas that used to echo with emptiness were now packed to the rafters. TV ratings, they weren't just good, they were breaking records left and right. In merch, you couldn't get your hands on a Caitlin Clark jersey. If you tried, they were selling out faster than hotcakes at a county fair.
WNBA. Cheap seats going for $100, that is a sign of progress. The most expensive seats to see Caitlin Clark were selling for over $4,000. When she played Angel Reese in the regular season, average ticket was selling for $300.
We saw ticket prices triple overnight.
But here's where it gets really juicy. The WNBA wasn't just popular, it was raking in cash, real serious money. For a league that had been struggling to stay afloat, this was like striking oil in your backyard. You might be thinking, okay, but how much of a difference could one player really make? A lot, actually more than you'd ever believe.
It's what she does. Now, as a player, let's understand this about Caitlin Clark. Number 1 overall pick, on pace to become the first rookie ever to average at least 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. But she also leads the league with 5.4 turnovers per game, 1.3 more than any other player in the league.
We saw ticket prices triple overnight. That's right, triple. Seats that used to go for $20 were suddenly selling for $60, $70, even $100, and people were happy to pay it. TV ratings, they went through the roof. We're talking about games pulling in millions of viewers. Even people who'd never watched a women's basketball game in their lives were tuning in to see what all the fuss was about.
The Fever will have over 600,000 fans in attendance total this year, and the second best to that was in 1999 with the Washington Mystics at just over 400,000. So the Fever are going to account for over 200,000 more fans this year to their game.
So how did Caitlin Clark single-handedly boost the WNBA's popularity? It wasn't just her skills on the court, though those were undeniable. It was the way she captured people's imaginations. She made women's basketball exciting, unpredictable, and must-see TV. She brought in new fans, re-energized old ones, and turned the WNBA into a hot topic of conversation around water coolers. And on social media, the WNBA's got a choice: ride this wave of excitement or risk fading into obscurity. What do you think they should do?